Hello there folks, and welcome back to the Chaps Guide, the channel where we talk about men's style, self-development tips and anything that can help you on your journey to being the best chaps that you can be in life. Now today I'm attending a conference here at St George's Park in Burton-upon-Trent, and it's been a great conference where I've been able to sit just as a delegate and enjoy the whole experience without having to speak for once, which is a real bind sometimes when you're attending a conference as a keynote speaker. It takes away some of your enjoyment, but for the last 3 days I've just been able to sit as a delegate and enjoy and absorb and think. And I often find, as well as just listening to the inputs from people in a conference, you get a bit of output from your own brain. And some of the things I've been thinking about, I've made a list, which is how you can use events like these to upscale your network of associates, friends, and people who can help with your prospects in life, who can help develop you and give you opportunities that wouldn't be there unless you went looking for them. So the first tip I'm going to give you, and I've got 3 tips for you today. The first one is to do just this, to seek out opportunities to better yourself. Now it's quite easy to sit back and let life pass you by, particularly if you've reached a point in your life where you're kind of on a plateau. You're satisfied, perhaps you've achieved the level that you think you're going to rise to in your profession, and the opportunities slow down. We all come to a point like that in life where our lives, our careers plateau, and we think, well, this is it, let's enjoy it. However, that is just the time that you need to invest in yourself and look for opportunities that can positively improve your life. Now, the conference I've come to today is a professional conference. My employer's paid for me to come here. They've provided everything I need to come here. Actually, it's been very beneficial to me. But had I not had that provision, it is just the sort of thing that you've got to look out for: conferences, seminars, events, continuous professional development opportunities where you have to make that investment, be it financial in yourself, or maybe just in time. You might have to give up a weekend to attend a training event that can put you in a better position going forward in life. Very rarely do things just drop in our laps. Sometimes we've got to go looking for them and put ourselves out to be in those positions of advantage. And it's just that sort of thing. Attending seminars and conferences, tracking them down and putting yourself in a position to learn and benefit. Because not only do you gain skills, but these are fabulous networking opportunities. You will be exposed to other people, you will meet other people who will throw open the door to opportunities and prospects that were not there if you hadn't gone, if you hadn't taken that effort. In these events, there are evening things going on all the time. There's a charity night, a gala dinner. Pretty much all of these multiple day conferences take the similar sort of format. And more often than not, I'm the sort of guy who could happily sit in my room. I lead a busy life. I could happily sit in my room, put the old telly on, read a book, and that would be a wonderful treat because my life is normally not so busy. I don't get afforded those opportunities very often. But, going to that charity event, going to that gala dinner, sitting next to strangers, when you think about it, it's a bloody bind. Nobody really wants to do it. But you know what? Every time you do that, you meet people who are on the same table as you, you've never met before. They've got interesting backgrounds, they've got stories to tell. They've got prospects that can open up to you. You end up exchanging your business cards with all of the people in the room, and before you know it, you've built your network of associates. And even if it's professional or non-professional, socially, you will find yourself calling upon these people in the future because you've made that connection, that friendship, that initial step towards a professional relationship. And of course they can pay massive dividends. So seek out those opportunities, even though it might not be your natural inclination to go to these events and things. Push yourself out there. You never know what will drop in your lap as a consequence of doing that. Secondly, I would say volunteering is a great way of building that network of associates and friends. Now, I've made a video specifically around volunteering because I think it's such a a wonderful self-investment. It's a reciprocal investment. You give time to a charity that benefits from you, and you always benefit back from that charity. But when it comes to building a network of friends and associates, volunteering is a great way to do it, because most charities are always seeking people to work with them, either on a tactical level, doing things, or on a strategic level, perhaps as a trustee or a governor or a director, non-executive director of a charity board. You'll be amazed, so many charities are seeking the input from people who have normal lives, whatever your professional background is. If you've no professional background and you're heading towards a professional background, if you're a student, if you've been out of work for some time, volunteering is a really great way of meeting new people and building a network. Because, you know, I volunteer as a trustee with a charity, Age UK in Bristol. And on that trustee board, there are leaders of other charities, leaders in the public sector, the private sector, you know, managers, directors, people from all sorts of backgrounds. People that I would not ordinarily be exposed to because of the nature of my work. But through those volunteering activities, it means that I meet them, we learn about each other, they learn what skills I have, I gain from their skills. It's kind of, you know, you'll hear of it called the law of reciprocity. If you do something good happens to you. Call it karma, call it whatever you like. But I find that when it comes to volunteering your time, you find that if you give something, you definitely get something back. And certainly one of the things you get back from volunteering is building a network of friends, associates, and people who will, you know, inevitably benefit you because they're giving you the benefit of their knowledge, their skills, their advice, and you will call upon them at some point, or they will offer something to you, be it a little snippet of advice or a job opportunity. You never know what is around the corner if you invest a bit of yourself in some volunteering activity. So well worth thinking about that, and have a look at the video I've done on volunteering where I outline my own volunteering journey and the way it's benefited me in life. And thirdly and finally, my last tip, and it's a bit of a funny one really, that is, everybody, all of us, will have an inspirational character, an icon that we aspire to, somebody who we think has done really well, even if it's in our profession, or if it's somebody who we know socially, or even somebody who we never met, but we have admired from afar, perhaps even a regional or national figure of relevance, you know, a person of note. I'm not going to use the word celebrity, I hate that word, but somebody who's done something exceptionally well and they've risen to prominence as a result of that. We all have somebody who we look at and think, you know, they've done well, I would love to emulate the success that they have had in the field that they work within. And what I would say to you is shadow that. You know, if you see what they've done, we live in a world today where research is available to all of us. Because of the internet, we can find out so much about people's lives because we have the ability to, you know, to search them up on the internet. You know, we can have a look at their biographies. If they're prominent public people, their life stories will be recorded somewhere, and we can find out about how they've got to where they are. Look at what they've done and see if that's something that's applicable to you. See if you can, you know, replicate the journey that they have made. You know, they might have done some volunteering. They might have, you know, been to conferences, gone to events, done things that you can do if you seek to emulate the success and the prominence that they have achieved in their lives. And when it comes to that inspirational character, what's wrong with reaching out to them and asking them for some advice? You know, we live in a world today where it's just highly acceptable to drop somebody an email. If they've got a public presence, if they've got a LinkedIn page, if they've got, you know, a biography on a charity, write to that charity, write to that private sector body and say, can you pass this message along to this person, please? You know, I'm interested in their career. Write to them and say, look, you know, I've admired you from afar. I would very much love to learn more about your journey, how you've got to where you are. You know, I'd like to get some tips from that because I'm on a journey myself, and what you have done is something that I would like to, you know, replicate in my own life. And you will be amazed at the generosity that people have when it comes to sharing their story. After all, people love nothing more than to talk about themselves. It's human nature, and you can, you know, leverage that when it comes to reaching out to a person of, you know, inspiration to you. And why not ask? The worst thing in the world that can happen is that they don't reply. they may reply and give you a snippet of information, a little tip, a little bit of advice that can change the path that you're on for the better. So don't hesitate to ask her advice, and reach out to them and, you know, just say, I'm looking for some tips here. What have you got for me? And you never know. They might reach out to you and you might end up with something that you weren't expecting. So those are just my 3 tips that I've been thinking about these last few days in this conference. I've been learning, I've been taking on advice, I've been thinking about new directions for myself. You know, my life is coming up to a turning point where I'm about to retire from one career and seek to embark upon another. And every day, every opportunity I get to expand my knowledge, to make a new network of friends and associates that'll benefit me, is time well invested in myself. So you can do the same. Make your life what it can be by investing, learning, taking on board new things. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to me today, talking about, you know, new adventures, new opportunities. If you have, please click that like button. And don't forget to subscribe as well, because you won't miss any of the future material that I do for you. And leave me some comments and tips as well, because, you know, I'm by no means the sage route of advice here. You probably have just as much knowledge, if not more than me. So please share it with me in the content section. I'd love to hear from you. And until the next time, until we meet again at the Chaps Guide, please take care, and I'll speak to you very soon.